Yo, what's up, Virgo? Welcome to your monthly forecast for the month of January 2019. Let's see what's coming in for Virgo for January 2019. Alright, Virgo, so you have the Temperance card in reverse as your central energy for the month of January 2019. So this suggests that some of you guys are doing something excessively. So try to think for a second, Virgo. What do you do in your life way too much? Think for a second, Virgo. It could be totally different for each of you. Now, if this isn't somewhere in your life where there's excess, then potentially some others of you are going to be sort of impatient at certain moments throughout the month of January 2019 because this is your central energy. So, I feel that for some of you, maybe this has to do, I feel like if you're single, Virgo, potentially it's like you're trying to figure out when somebody is going to come into your life to be in a relationship, potentially. I think some of you maybe have been single for a long time, and now you're starting to get impatient. You're starting to feel like, God, when am I going to be able to find somebody who's going to be right for me? Now, for others of you, if that's not the case, then potentially maybe your significant other does things that make you feel sort of impatient, and for others of you maybe that's not the case at all. For others of you, maybe you have a relationship that's perfectly fine, and maybe this impatience doesn't have to do with your relationship at all. Maybe this has to do with some other aspect of your life. Maybe some of you are getting a little bit impatient with family members, or potentially this could be with your work. So it's going to resonate differently for all of you. Now, for others of you, this has to do specifically with an important Sagittarius in your life. So the Temperance card can be indicative specifically of the sign of Sagittarius, but that's not the case for all of you. But with the Temperance card jumping out of the deck in reverse as your central energy for the month of January 2019, I'd say that some of you really do have an important Sagittarius in your life, but you might have a bit of an issue with this person in the month of January 2019 because the card's in the reverse. I'd say if the card was in the upright, there would be no issue, but the card jumped out of the deck in the reverse. So, some of you guys might have a bit of an issue with a Sagittarian in the month of January 2019. For some of you, this is somebody who you're interested in romantically. For others of you, you might know this person through your work. For a few of you, maybe this is one of your friends. For others of you, this could be somebody in your family. So you just have to think, Virgo, who in your life is an important Sagittarius that's kind of giving you a little bit of a problem in the month of January 2019. All right, Virgo, so you have the Five of Pentacles and the Two of Cups as your challenge cards for the month of January 2019. I'm not going to say that all Virgos are having issues with the relationship aspect of your life, but you can't say that some of you might be, because you do have the Two of Cups as your challenge card, Virgo, so that does suggest that some of you do have some kind of imbalance when it comes to relationships. So if you're a Virgo that has a great relationship, then this message doesn't apply to you. But for you Virgos who are experiencing challenges in your relationship or some kind of imbalance, then there's the reason right there. You have the Two of Cups as one of your challenge cards for the month of January 2019. I mean, this is like an imbalance in relationship, Virgo. So it's like, for some of you, I'd say that you like somebody more than they like you, or it might be vice versa. Potentially, maybe somebody likes you more than you like them. For a few of you, you might be with this person already. For others of you, if you're single, you might be into somebody, but they're not really feeling you back. or potentially you're single and somebody likes you and you're just not really into them. Now, you also have the Five of Pentacles as one of your challenge cards for the month of January 2019, Virgo, and that suggests that some of you guys feel a little bit on the outside of some situation in your life. It's like you don't really feel like you have much control or influence of it. It's just kind of happening, and you're just so if you look here's the building where all the people are inside, and then here's you on the outside. So you just kind of feel on the outside like you don't really have much of an influence. You don't have much control of what's happening with this situation, Virgo. For others of you, if that's not the case, then potentially for some of you, depending on where you are in the world, a few of you, sometimes when the Five of Pentacles jumps out of the deck, it can be the indication of snow. So potentially some of you guys might be getting some snow wherever you are in the month of January 2019. It's going to resonate differently for all of you. So some of you guys have an important Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio in your life. You do have the Knight of Cups here, and this person could be from any aspect of your life, Virgo. And for some of you, I'd say this has to do with your love life. So if you're a single Virgo, potentially you were not into a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio before, but now you might be interested in this person. You might be more willing to see this person's perspective or this person's point of view for things, because right next to that card you have the Four of Cups, and that Four of Cups, that's all about like originally you were like kind of closed off to a certain perspective, but now all of a sudden you're willing to try to open your mind a little bit and maybe see somebody else's point of view. So that would suggest, if you look here, you have these three cups here, and then you have this fourth cup, which was the one that you were initially closed off to. But when the Four of Cups jumps out of the deck, it would suggest that some of you are willing to see this perspective now. For some of you, this might have to do with a Cancer, a Pisces, or a Scorpio potentially. For some of you, this is a romantic interest. If you're coupled up, then a select handful of you are already with a Cancer, a Pisces, or a Scorpio. And if you're not familiar with tarot reading, it doesn't matter if it's a Knight of Cups. A Knight of Cups can be a man or a woman, but it's definitely someone who's a Cancer, a Pisces, or a Scorpio. And this, for some of you, this is somebody from your romantic life. For others of you, this is somebody from some other aspect of your life. Alright, so some of you Virgos are overcommitted to your home life, and for some of you this is sort of an issue to you. It's like you keep having to tend to home life, you keep having to tend to family members. I feel that for some of you Virgos it's about one or the other, and for some of you it's like you keep having to go back and deal with some kind of ongoing family situation. So I don't know how this is resonating uniquely in your life, Virgo, but for some reason this matter regarding your family or members of your family, the energy just keeps coming in, and it's starting to be sort of distracting to you. It's like there's other things in your life that you really want to focus on. And for others of you, this is more about your home life. So like I said, for one group of you, this might be more about a family, ongoing family matter. For others of you, this is more about your home life. So try to figure out which one it is for you, Virgo. But this is like some kind of home life or family commitments that just keep coming back, and you keep having to tend to them, and it's starting to be sort of bothersome to you because, there are other things in your life that you'd like to focus on. Some of you guys really do have some abundance in your life, so you should be thankful, Virgo. Some of you guys definitely do have a lot to be thankful for. You do have a lot. Others of you, this is more about there's someone in your life who they're very focused on their appearance, they're very focused on their looks, and this person could be standing out to you in the month of January 2019. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and say that all of you are like that, but some of you guys, you're into self-care a lot. Like, you do a lot to take care of your appearance, and you do a lot to make yourself look good. So for some of you guys, this is going to resonate. This energy is resonating as you, and for others of you, this is somebody in your life who fits the aforementioned description. But other than that, this is definitely an indication that some of you guys really do have a lot to be grateful for, and you really do have abundance in your life. All right, Virgo, so you do have the Two of Swords, and this suggests you have a couple options. You're going back and forth. I'd say that for some of you, this has to do with your love life. If it doesn't have to do with your love life, then it might have to do with some other area of your life. But you definitely have two options. And, potentially some of you guys might not be able to make a decision. I'd say if it has to do with your love life, you're really going to be going back and forth about which person you want to be with. And, once again, it's not resonating like this for all you guys, but I'm just going to go right back to that Two of Cups energy there. So it sounds like, some of you guys do have a couple different ways that you can go when it comes to your love life. For some of you guys, you might be going back and forth between a Cancer, Pisces, and a Scorpio, and potentially for others of you, it's another Virgo, a Taurus, or a Capricorn. So you could be going back and forth between either of those two options. It doesn't have to be limited to those specific signs. So, could be any other sign. But if it's not you who's going back and forth between two options romantically, then potentially whoever you're with might be thinking about somebody else or going back and forth between two options. And, if you have a great love life and that's not the case, then that message doesn't apply to you. But, for you Virgos who are going back and forth, or maybe you're thinking that potentially whoever you're with might be going back and forth about who they want to be with, well, there's your reason right there. I mean, you got Two of Swords, you got Two of Cups, and, for others of you, this has to do with some other aspect of your life. So for some of you, this doesn't have to do with your love life at all. Others of you might have some other aspect of your life where you have a couple different choices, and, for some reason, you might not be able to make a decision between those choices. So something about marriage is showing up in your reading this month, Virgo, and I'd say for some of you, marriage is great, and for others of you, marriage, there's kind of a question mark around it. So I'd say that if you're the latter, then, what's the reason why marriage seems to be sort of an issue? So for those of you who have a great marriage, then obviously this isn't for you. But, for those of you who are having some kind of issue regarding marriage, then, potentially you have to try to figure out why, Virgo. Is it a choice that you're making potentially? Is it maybe a circumstance? So it's going to resonate differently for all of you, but there is the indication of some kind of issues when it comes to marriage in the month of January 2019. If this doesn't have to do with marriage, then, potentially some of you guys would enjoy some more moments in your life where there's like celebration and happiness. And I'm not saying that you're not going to be happy in the month of January 2019, but, some of you guys really could use a little bit more celebration and enjoyment in your lives. Sometimes I feel like, for you guys, it's starting to become a bit of a grind, And, I feel that there is some nice energy that's going to be coming in. And even if it doesn't start to resonate right away, I think eventually you are going to feel some pretty nice energy coming in, because on January 5th, there is a new moon solar eclipse in an area that has to do with your love life, and it has to do with having fun. So, like I said, the new moon solar eclipse, it's going to hit on January 5th, and then the 6 to 12 months that follow January 5th, now all of a sudden this energy is coming in. It's like a new chapter of your love life. If you're already married, then this is a new chapter for your marriage, a new fresh chapter. And, if you're single, I'm not guaranteeing that someone's going to come into your life for romance in the 6 to 12 months that follow the new moon solar eclipse on January 5th. But, some of you, this is definitely a possibility. So there could be somebody coming into your life within the next year, Virgo, and this person might be the true love of your life, Virgo. So be open to possibilities. Try to figure out who this person is. For others of you, if you are already coupled up but you're not married, maybe you over the next year you want to start thinking about taking things to the next level. So that new moon solar eclipse is going to happen on January 5th, and then the year following that event, that's the time where you're really going to want to start thinking about taking things to the next level. For others of you, this has to do with art or creativity. Some of you Virgos are artists, and I think this is going to bring a fresh perspective to this aspect of your life. So some of you are going to be really feeling creatively inspired in the year of 2019. And for others of you, this might have to do with having fun. So, like I said, even if you don't feel that energy that much in the month of January 2019, I think things are going to start to become more positive throughout the year of 2019. So some of you guys are doing your own thing a lot throughout the month of January 2019, and I'd say that it's probably a bit too much. So some of you guys are doing your own thing too much. There's too many moments where you're by yourself, and even if you have people around you, you might still feel like you're doing your own thing too much, because you have the Hermit card in the reverse, and when that Hermit card jumps out of the deck in the upright, it's like, yeah, you're doing your own thing, and it's in a reasonable amount. But when the Hermit card jumps out of the deck in the reverse, it's like, well, some of you Virgos are just feeling like you're kind of on your own, like way too much. And like I said, I mean, even if there are people physically around you, you still kind of feel like you're on your own. Now, right next to that, you have the Page of Wands in the reverse. So, potentially there's some kind of issue with someone who's a Sagittarius, a Leo, or an Aries in your life. I think that maybe for a very select few of you, this is someone who you're interested in romantically. For others of you, this has to do with someone from some other aspect of your life. And right next to that, you do have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. So, when the Eight of Wands jumps out of the deck in the upright, usually suggests that there's some kind of swift change that's going to happen. That's not going to be the case in the month of January 2019 for you, Virgo. So some of you guys have an important Aquarius somewhere in your life. So try to think for a second, Virgo. Who's the important Aquarius in your life? Are you interested in this person romantically? For others of you, this might be somebody from your family or from your line of work. You do have the Star card, so somehow the stars are going to apply to your life in the month of January 2019. I'd say that for some of you Virgos, you're starting to become really interested in this sort of thing. You're starting to become more interested in anything pertaining to a higher power. You're starting to become more interested in stuff like tarot reading or spirituality. For others of you, you might be giving in the month of January 2019. You do have the Six of Pentacles here, so potentially some of you might be giving to charity, or for others of you, it's like, Virgo, you are somebody who has abundance, so potentially you're going to be giving some of what you have to someone who doesn't have as much as you do. So some of you guys really do finish off the month with some kind of issues regarding, I'd say, home life or marriage. So now you have several cards here that are indicating these kind of issues. And you do have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, which I talked about earlier in your reading, which is that you just keep having to go back and tending to those family members, tending to those home life obligations for some of you guys. And then you have the Ten of Cups in reverse as your outcome for the month of January 2019. And I don't think that you should let this discourage you, Virgo. I think that there is a whole fresh new chapter coming in regarding your love life and regarding happiness, and it's going to come in the form of that new moon solar eclipse that's going to happen on January 5th. So, you got to remember, this is just the energy for the month of January 2019. I think you have a lot to look forward to this year, especially with you starting off the year with that fresh energy from that new moon solar eclipse. But thank you very much for watching this video, Virgo. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe, share, and like, and I'll see you next time.